There is a sound I know better than almost any other. It is the sound of a house fully at rest. No hum from machines, no blue light bleeding under a door, no refrigerator cycling on and off at 2 in the morning. Just the creak of old wood settling, the breath of wind outside, and silence deep enough that you can hear your own heartbeat slow down if you let it. I grew up in that silence. I still sleep in it tonight. And here is what I have noticed all my years watching the neighbors in the English world when they come through our county. They look tired, not just sleepy tired, tired in a way that goes down into the bones. You can see it in their eyes at the hardware store, at the farm stand, anywhere we cross paths. They tell me they have not slept well in years. Some of them say decades. They take pills for it. They buy machines that blow air into their faces at night. They listen to sounds of waterfalls on their phones. And then they ask me how old I am, and when I tell them, they go quiet for a second. My grandfather Isaac slept without interruption until the night he died at 93. My mother, every single night of her life, was asleep before the candles burned low and up before the roosters made a sound. She did not toss. She did not wake at 3 in the morning with her heart pounding. She did not stare at the ceiling wondering why her mind would not let her go. The English world has a name for that problem: insomnia, sleep disorder, chronic sleep disruption. We have a different name for it. We call it an unhappy body. And an unhappy body, in our understanding, is almost always a body that has been confused. Not broken, confused. That difference matters more than you might think right now. Hold on to it. Because what I am going to share with you today is not about a tea. It is not about a supplement you can order or a gadget you can plug in. The thing that keeps our people sleeping the way we do has nothing to do with any product at all. It is older than any product. And when you understand what it actually is, the reason it works will make complete sense to you, even though no one in the modern world is saying it out loud. Let me start with something that happened when I was about 12 years old. My father took me to visit an old man in our district, a neighbor named Eli. Eli was 81 at the time. He had worked his land since he was a boy. He had buried a wife, raised 7 children, lived through 2 droughts, and a flood year that took half his crops. His hands looked like roots of an old tree. And every morning, without exception, Eli was the first person in the county awake, not because he had to be, because his body simply woke him up ready. I asked my father on the walk home what Eli's secret was. My father was quiet for a while, the way he always got when he was choosing his words carefully. Then he said something I did not fully understand until I was grown. He said, Eli's body knows what time it is. I thought that was a strange answer for a 12-year-old to hear. I thought, well, everyone knows what time it is if they have a clock, but my father was not talking about clocks. Here is what he meant, and here is where the first piece of this puzzle falls into place. Your body runs on a rhythm, a deep, ancient rhythm that goes back further than any of us can trace. Every system inside you, your heart, your digestion, the way your temperature rises and falls, the hormones that tell you to wake up, and the ones that pull you down into sleep, all of it runs on a cycle tied to one thing: light. Not artificial light, not screen light, the actual light of the sun rising and setting. In our community, we live inside that rhythm. We have always lived inside it because we have no choice and because we believe it is right. The sun rises and life begins. The sun sets and life winds down. Not because we are told to, because every single signal our body is getting confirms it. Now think about what happens in the English world after dark. Lights blaze on. Screens throw blue light directly into people's eyes, the same frequency of light that tells the brain it is noon. The body hears that signal and stops producing the hormone it needs to fall asleep. Not a little less, almost none. And then an hour or 2 later, the person lies down in the dark and wonders why they cannot switch off. They have been telling their nervous system it is midday, and now they are surprised their nervous system did not get the memo that it is midnight. This is what my father meant when he said Eli's body knew what time it was. Eli's body was never lied to. But I want to be careful here because this is where most people stop. And stopping here means you only get half the picture. The light is real. It matters. But it is not the whole story, because we have something else, something the English world does not talk about, and it is the piece that I believe matters even more for people over 60. I will tell you what it is. But first, I need you to understand something about what happens to sleep as you get older, something that most doctors in the modern world treat as just the way things are. After 60, sleep changes. Most people in the English world accept this as a law, like gravity. You get older, you sleep lighter, you wake up more, you feel less rested. Doctors shrug. They say it is normal aging. Here where I live, we do not see it that way. Yes, sleep changes with age. The body is different at 70 than at 30. We do not pretend otherwise. But the question is not whether sleep shifts. The question is why so many people in the modern world end up barely sleeping at all, while people in our community at the same age still wake up rested enough to work a morning without complaint. The answer is not genes. It is not luck. It is something they are doing every day for decades that we simply never did. And this is the part I want you to sit with for a moment before I tell you, because once you hear it, you cannot unhear it. If your body cannot sleep, there is a very good chance it is not a nighttime problem. Read that again. It is not a nighttime problem. What breaks sleep in people over 60, in almost every case I have seen in my own community, when someone did struggle, was built up during the day. It was in the food. It was in the stillness. It was in the absence of something the body needs the way it needs water. I am going to walk you through exactly what that is. But before I do, if you are finding value in what I am sharing, I would be grateful if you stayed close to this channel, because what I bring here is not from a book or a study. It is from a life, and there is more to share. Now, back to the day. Here is something about how our people move through the hours between sunrise and sundown. We are rarely still, not in an anxious way, not rushing and straining, but the body's doing something, almost always. Carrying, walking, bending, lifting, hands in the soil or on a tool or kneading dough. By the time the evening comes, the body has spent itself honestly. There is a kind of tiredness that is earned, and it feels completely different from the tiredness you get from sitting all day staring at something. Earned tiredness is clean. It settles into your muscles and your joints, and it says, "We are finished. We can rest now." The tiredness that comes from sitting without moving is restless. It is in the nervous system, not the muscles. And a restless nervous system at bedtime is a body that will fight sleep all night long, no matter how tired the person feels. My own mother used to say that a body that does not work during the day does not know how to rest at night. She said it about animals, and she said it about people, and she was right about both. Now, I am not telling you that you need to plow a field. I am not saying you need to spend 8 hours on your feet. What I am saying is that the body at any age needs to be used in a way that exhausts it honestly before it can release into deep sleep. A walk in the morning, work in a garden, even a small one, carrying things, climbing a stair more than you need to, not exercise the way the English world means it, not a class or a program or a machine, just movement that has a purpose, movement that means something. A body that has done real things during the day goes to sleep at night like a candle going out. A body that has done nothing stays lit and flickering. But there is still one more piece, and this one surprised even me when I started to understand it fully, even though it had been in front of my eyes my entire life. The thing that I believe matters most of all for sleep after 60 is this: the evening must be different from the day. Not just a little different, completely unmistakably different. The body must receive a clear signal that the work is over, the sun is down, and it is time to wind inward. In our community, that signal has always been the same. The tools go away. The lamps that we use cast a warm, low light, nothing like the bright light of working hours. Voices get quieter. We sit together, or we sit alone, but we sit. Someone might read. Someone might do light handwork. There is no urgency. The meal in the evening is earlier than the English world tends to eat, and it is simpler than the midday meal because we learned long ago that a heavy meal at night keeps the body working when it should be resting. This sequence of things, the fading light, the quiet, the early simple meal, the absence of new demands, tells the nervous system something it absolutely needs to hear. You are safe. You are done. You can let go. The English world calls what we do a wind-down routine. We just call it evening. It is not a strategy. It is not something anyone in my family consciously designed. It is the shape of a day lived the way a day was meant to be lived, with a beginning, a middle, and an honest end. And here is what I want you to hear, directly, as plainly as I can say it. If you are waking up at 2 in the morning and staring at the ceiling, if you are falling asleep in your chair but lying awake in your bed, if you have not had a full night's rest in so long that you have forgotten what it feels like your body is not broken, it has not turned against you, it is almost certainly confused about when the day is over. It may not be getting enough honest movement to spend itself. It may be receiving light signals at night that are telling it to stay alert. And it very likely has no clear ritual that says to the nervous system, the work is finished, you are safe, this is the hour to let go. None of those things require a prescription. None of them cost anything. They are habits, and habits can change. Now, let me be clear about something the way my father always was when he shared advice. I am not a doctor. What I share comes from a life lived a certain way and from watching the people around me live the same way with the same results, generation after generation. If you are on medication for sleep, or if you are dealing with something your body is going through that a doctor is watching, please keep that relationship, keep that conversation going. What I offer here is the shape of a life, not a prescription. These are habits of living, not medical advice. But I do believe, with everything I have seen and lived, that the body wants to sleep. It is built for it. It is hungry for it. The deep, restorative, wake up ready for the morning sleep that you remember from when you were younger has not disappeared. It is waiting for the conditions that allow it to come back. So let me give you the practical shape of it, the way I would give it to anyone who asks me directly. In the morning, get outside. Do not eat in the dark and sit in the dark. Go outside and let the real morning light land on your face, even for 10 minutes. This is the signal that starts the clock your body runs on. It tells every system inside you that the day has begun. During the day, move with purpose. Not for long, not hard, but real. A walk that covers ground. A task that uses your hands and your back. Something you can look at when it is done and say, I did that today. In the evening, eat earlier than you probably do now, and eat simpler. Give your body 3 hours at least between your last meal and the time you lie down. After the sun sets, lower the light around you. Warm lamp, not overhead bright. No screens in the last hour before bed, and if that feels impossible, at minimum, cover them with a warm filter and hold them away from your face. And give yourself a real ending to the day. A ritual, even a small one, that your body learns to recognize as the signal that the work is over. It might be a short walk outside when the air is cool. It might be sitting with a cup of something warm. It might be a few pages of something you love reading. The content matters less than the consistency. The body learns from repetition. You teach it what evening means. That is what we have always done. That is why a house in our community goes quiet and stays quiet through the night. Not because we are special people, not because of any remedy hidden in a cupboard, because we live inside the rhythm that the body was made for, and we have never stopped. The English world calls it a sleep hack. My grandfather would not have known what to do with that word. He called it common sense. It's not your age that stole your sleep, my friend. It is a day shaped in a way that never told your body the night was coming. You can change that. Starting tonight, tell me in the comments, what is the one thing your body struggles with most after 60? I read every single one, and what you share helps me know what to bring to you next. And stay close, because next time I will share the way we keep our minds sharp well into old age, something our people have done every single morning for as long as anyone can remember, and something the modern world forgot somewhere along the way.